I always drank this raw milk. My parents have a goat and seem to be really convinced I should be consuming a lot of raw goat's milk. I'm going to tell you, after age 2, remember this, after age 2, you lose the enzyme lactase to digest milk. So your body can't even digest it, even in its raw state. If you think you got to have milk that bad, go find a monkey. But don't find a cow or a goat, maybe a little closer. But I think we even have goat's milk up there, but we will. And just show you the differences between these milks. But why do people feel like they need to still suck on the teat after they're weaned? I mean, this is ridiculous. I can see the humorous in that, but the same thing is there is a lot of people drinking milk way beyond it should be. The medical doctors, I used to think it was 3 years. The medical doctors claim 2. I'll go with them on this one because the sooner you can get off the milks, the better off you'll be. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You don't want to stay on that nipple long or any other thing like that. And cow's milk and goat's milk, no way. I had a question about the mother's milk, though. If it's coming from a truly healthy mother, is it still not efficient enough? I always figured that it would be most natural way to feed your child. I always think it's the most natural way to feed your child, too. I feel that all mothers should breastfeed if they're a good raw food mother and their bodies are fairly clean and they're doing good that way. I would definitely think breastfeeding is the way to go on that one. Excuse me, especially when you're doing raw. You got a lot of mothers out there, though, very acidic, very toxic. The milks are not good. The babies are not doing well with mother's milk. A lot of babies are turning away from mom's milk, and I think it's just because mothers are so acidic and things like that. So then they cram them with the formulas that are high protein, high fats. But it's amazing that in terms of nutrition, human mother's milk is extremely low. It's really extremely low in lipids and protein too. It'll shock you. So this mega nutrition thing, it doesn't fit at all. It's just that these kids are doing really well at getting off the milks a lot sooner, and they're not getting so mucousy and stuff like this. Again, I think it has to do with the mom, but I'm for breastfeeding babies, 100%. Same here, I'm confused as to how one could be engaged to replace mother's milk with any formula at all. Is mother's milk not created and formulated by God to be the ideal nutrition for human babies? You would think that, right? And that statement is good right off on its merit, right? Let's stop a minute with that. What's on top of it? The diet of the mother and the genetic weaknesses of the mother. That goes a lot to play with the quality of her milks. Acid-forming food-eating mother, acid-forming milk mother. When you have an acid-forming milk, you have colicky, mucousy, and all kinds of problems, constantly having to burp them and everything else. Bad digesting foods. Milk is hard to digest for almost every species on the planet. That's why the very limited time you're on it. Very limited time you're on it. So, it's not that I'm against mother's milk at all. But the current mothers on the planet are not so healthy. And your health of your body is passed on to your baby, both lymphatically, blood-wise, when they're in you. So this is what happened. And I'm just seeing this in what's coming into the clinic, ladies. I know a lot. We get a lot of mothers, a lot of questions with mothers, and we have a lot of mothers that can't breastfeed because their babies can't take it anymore. I'm just showing you what's out there and what maybe you guys don't see, but what's out there. And we have to get the mothers healthy to have healthy milk. Unhealthy acidic mothers just going to feed the baby acid milk. So that's when you want a good formula then that'll take care of your baby, that'll make it strong, alkalized, and doesn't clog the lymph system. Because you feed your baby's acidic milk, now you got a baby's lymph system that's backed up. If this baby starts forming tumors, states will grab your baby, force chemo, and in 97% of the cases kill them. We prefer to have the mothers get themselves healthy before they have their babies, so not only do they have healthy babies, they can breastfeed them. That would be my take on that subject matter. I'm just saying. You want healthy babies, and we know how to make healthy babies and have for years and years and years. And you can't breastfeed your babies for years like women are doing. And 2-year breastfeeding is way too long nowadays. And we're showing you raw food babies all over the place and how healthy they are. So like I said, I am for breastfeeding 100% if you're a healthy woman. If you're a acidic woman and you're going to feed your baby acidically, you're going to have an unhealthy baby. And I'm not the one that has to pay the price on that one. I'm not the one. The mother is. And the baby. Sad stuff. This idea that we need to breastfeed, nurse our babies for all this time is ridiculous. It doesn't have to be that way. And we have some strong babies in this world to prove it. We've saved more babies than you can even imagine from very serious, serious problems. So we understand the whole thing of babies and nutrition, let me tell you. The concern, ladies, is your baby's lymphatic systems. And milk is the biggest clogger. And when milk's acidic, those proteins are the most mucus-forming things on the planet. Well, you're running your babies into the ER. I spent years in the ER, very aware of mothers and babies in the ER. A little Tylenol, a little antibiotic, and off home you go. I'm very aware of how we deal with all this. Be real careful with your babies because these are our precious futures. And how you raise them and how you take care of them is either yours or the child's nightmare or your joy and the baby's healthiness. So we're very aware of how you take care of babies. We've had everywhere from cancer in infants all the way. All the way, guys. And we save most of them. Mothers always gives the best milk as long as they're healthy. But most ladies are not healthy. That's the problem. And now we see so many, we have so many moms call us or come in and say, my baby's rejecting my breast milk.